cocktail sessions, educational and inspirational talks from experienced startup founders, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders.
Thank you very much, and I did not pay him for that promotion. So my talk's about being open to serendipity. And I say, and knowing sometimes it might not make any sense at first to you at all, but it will fall into place. So serendipity is a huge word that is a part of this community, and I think that it's also a big part of embracing fear. Because when you are open to serendipity, you are open to what life brings you, which means that you are not allowing for fear to get in your way. So when I talk to tons of people and curate these weeks for downtown, I always ask individuals, what did you want to be when you were 8 years old? This is not what I wanted to be when I was 8 years old, but I did win a Hungry Hat contest. It was a hat contest where I taped Doritos on my hat, and I was a very infectious little girl. I always ask this question. Oh, okay, sure. I always ask, I don't know if this is on though. Is on? Hello? Okay. I always ask this question because it brings people back to who they were before they were operating from a place of fear. So before they had bills to pay, before they had a rent to worry about, and when they could just dream. The next question I ask individuals when they're on this path to figuring out who they are and what they want to be is, what did you major in college, or what was your first job? I was an educator. I have a master's in education, and then I went to event planning. I opened up restaurants in New York and Vegas. First grade teacher, and then studied abroad, and I realized the world was a lot bigger than I thought. I was totally afraid to go abroad to London when my parents wouldn't even go farther than their backyard, but I took the chance, and it changed my life for the better. I decided I wanted to be an entertainment tonight host, which was not the direction that I was supposed to be going, but it did lead me to being an event planner and providing marketing and events in New York City. I realized that there's a point of your life when you realize your dream is no longer your dream. This is scary because you think you know yourself, and then you realize you don't at all. So I built a $20 million restaurant group with a few other individuals. We went from 5 to 20 people in 2 years. I was living in New York City, going to all the cool, fun events, and then things change. I had gone to a few different conferences, one of which being called Summit Series, where I met this crazy man building this city in Vegas. And he asked to have me come check it out. I thought it was crazy, but it actually was life-changing. I believe that you cannot be afraid to go outside your comfort zone. Say yes. So for 1 year, I said yes. I said yes to Vegas. I said yes to Panama. My friend was building a social entrepreneurship civilization there, so I lived on the grounds there for a few days. And I said yes to going to India, where I rode an elephant and got sprayed directly in the face numerous times. The next part of embracing fear is being open to opportunity, everywhere and anywhere, and shut off your phone every once in a while. I have 2 phones. I use them to no end. I'm absolutely obsessed with using technology to be more human, but there is a point where you need to be connected to yourself and the people around you, and that's about shutting off your phone. I was in India. I met a cab driver who changed my life. Another day, another story. But he challenged me to go back to the United States and stop drinking, stop eating meat, and start doing yoga, and it made a big difference in my life because I was open to that serendipity. Create your own reality. When others tell you that's impossible, they mean that's impossible for them. I created my own reality. When I was in India, I wrote, fill your stomach with good food, fill your body with good exercise, fill your soul with nourishment, fill your mind with good words, fill your heart with love, and that is how you will live a fulfilling life. And I believe that I'm living that here. And believe in yourself. Invest in yourself, take the time for yourself, because if you don't invest in yourself, no one else will. In the past 6 months, I left New York, moved here in California, started a company, and changed the way that I looked at myself in the world. And I believe that if I was scared, I would still be the worst version of myself instead of trying to be the best. Thanks so much.
So I'll be the runner. Okay. Who's got questions? Who's the first person with a question? Anyone have a question? Oh, I can't see. Here you go.
Just what's your company? What company did you tell us about it?
Can I use this? I can talk loud, it's fine. What's my company was the question. So my company is Catalyst Creative, and we are a downtown project-funded company. We curate a speaker series We curate a speaker series the last week of every month, and as Frank said, it's all different individuals from around the world and country, and they offer advice on building community. So it's really very deep conversations about failure and vulnerability and things that they have to overcome to get to where they are, and they come the fourth Thursday and Friday of every month. I can talk. All right.
So thank you for your talk. Well done. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. So and at some point the serendipity happened. You said, "Okay, I'm going to accept this," and you made it sound terribly easy. So I'm sure there's something that affected you to get to the place where you said, "Okay, I'm open."
Yeah. I could talk.
They're putting me to work here.
Really loud. Okay. It's totally fine. Okay, actually, that holds hands.
All right.
So I believe that there's a lot that happens before the serendipity that knocks you on your face directly over and over and over again for you to then be like, oh, this is serendipity and not failure and misery and I don't hate my life. So there were things that had gone on in my life prior to this story, which was, you know, when I was 16, I moved twice in a year, and I had a fissure in my whole entire life and who I was as a person. And then I did go abroad, and I got hired for that position. They had fired 3 people and hired me, so I was working 3 jobs. And the company grew so rapidly that I kind of lost myself. I forgot who I was. I forgot that I was a teacher. I forgot I wanted to change the world. And there was a point where I started writing again for the first time. I started journaling. And this is pretty vulnerable, but I get vulnerable fast. So I pretty much said, would you date you? And I said, no, in 2 years. And I realized, I'm like, I don't like myself. And at that moment, I started to see the world differently because I said to myself, I don't want to be this person, and I'm the only person that can make that choice to not be this person. So instead of seeing everything from this negative standpoint of, oh, the world's against me, I started thinking, no, because I can take everything for what I want to take it as. And I started taking initiative and creating change in my life that fit the serendipity. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. You get a sticker for being brave. Yeah, a real full sticker. I'm sorry, I didn't deliver one. Okay, here's your sticker for asking a question. I'm like a sticker fairy. All right.
Oh, first of all, congratulations. I think it's an amazing story.
Thank you.
But secondly, can you just tell us a little more about what happened with the cab driver? It sounds really interesting.
Sure. Tell it really fast, like 2 seconds. Oh, okay. So I was in India. I was obsessed with technology. I literally did not stop on my phones. Everyone called me a machine growing up, like obsessed with technology. And I would be at the table just like literally talking on both phones at the same time, and it was a disaster. So I went to India. India came up in conversation 6 times through just random conversations. So I would be with friends, and they would say, come to India. And I said, this is weird. I've never thought about going to India. I went to India, and I tapped out of technology for 10 straight days. On the 10th day, I was in a cab going to the airport, and I started talking to the cab driver, and I said, do you go out? Do you socialize? Do you drink? Do you party? He said, no. I said, what do you do? Do you do yoga? I just tried that. He said, yes. I said, can you give me some tips and tricks? He pulled over the side of the road, pushed down the seat, sat Indian style, and he goes, let me show you how to breathe. He then looked at me and said, you look tuk-tuk. Look at my body, it's tight. Yours is tuk-tuk. I said, does that mean fat? He said, yes. I said, oh my God. He then told me that he wanted to challenge me, and he said, you're going back to the United States. You're doing yoga every day. You're going to stop drinking for every single day for 6 months, and you're not going to eat meat for 6 months. And you're going to come back and show me the results. And I said, no way. He said, write it down. You're going to email me if you want a drink or if you want chicken or the whole thing, saying, I don't want a tuk-tuk body. And so I did it. I came back, and for 6 months, I lived in New York City, no drinking, no eating meat, doing yoga every day. And in turn, I ended up being a lot more open to what was around me. And I went back to India, and he's now like a little travel agent because I wrote an article about it, and all these people are visiting him, and he's showing them all around. That's it, right? I'll end there. Nothing else can really top that.
Okay, thanks, Amanda. Thanks so much.